Following several days of intense negotiations, the United States and Iran have reportedly reached a preliminary agreement that is aimed at ending months of conflict and establishing a framework for broader peace, with a normal and formal signing expected on June 19 in Geneva, Switzerland. While officials on both the sides have confirmed the existence of an agreement in principle, the full text of the memorandum has not been released and major differences remain over the interpretation and the implementation. Notably, US President Donald Trump and Vice President J.D. Vance have described the development as a major diplomatic breakthrough that could reshape stability in the Middle East. Donald Trump has stated that the agreement marks the end of active hostilities and announced measures to reopen the Strait of Hormuz and lift the US naval blockade on Iranian ports. He has framed the deal as restoring freedom of navigation and enabling the resumption of global maritime trade without any restrictions. However, he has also warned that future military action could still be considered if commitments are not met. Iranian officials have also confirmed participation in the agreement but stressed that implementation is conditional upon formal signing and reciprocal steps by Washington. Deputy Foreign Minister Kazim has said that Tehran views the arrangement as a framework for further negotiation rather than an immediate binding peace treaty, particularly regarding sanctions relief and security guarantees. And according to the Iranian media reports, including all those from international news agency, the draft agreement reportedly contains a 14-point structure. It includes an immediate and permanent cessation of hostilities across all the fronts, including Lebanon, and mutual commitments by both the sides in order to avoid further military escalation. It also reportedly includes assurances from the United States that it will not interfere in Iran's internal affairs and will respect its sovereignty. A central component of the proposed deal is the gradual lifting of US sanctions on Iran alongside mechanisms for economic and banking normalization. Some reports also suggest discussions include the release of approximately $24 to $25 billion in frozen Iranian assets during an initial negotiation phase. Iran, however, maintains that sanctions relief should begin early in the process, while Western governments argue that it should depend on verifiable Iranian compliance with security and nuclear-related commitments. Another key element involves the Strait of Hormuz, one of the world's most important oil transit routes. The draft reportedly calls for the reopening of the strait within a set time frame. And under agreed arrangements, Donald Trump has described this as an immediate reopening of the waterway without tolls or restrictions. Well, Iranian accounts suggest a phased and negotiated reopening process in which Iran would play a role in managing the transition. The nuclear issue remains one of the most contentious unresolved aspects. US officials have also indicated that the agreement aims to prevent Iran from acquiring a nuclear weapon and could eventually involve dismantling or removing highly enriched uranium stockpiles. Well, in contrast, Iranian officials insist that their nuclear program is peaceful and have suggested that issues related to enrichment levels and uranium stockpiles will be addressed in a separate 60-day negotiation process. And all this includes disagreement over whether enriched uranium would be removed from the country or diluted domestically under monitoring. The draft also reportedly includes provisions for maritime security guarantees, verification mechanisms, and a diplomatic framework for resolving disputes without returning to military confrontation. It further mentions potential long-term reconstruction and development assistance for Iran, with figures as high as $300 billion. Cited in media reports, though all these have not been independently confirmed by the US officials. And despite all these reported elements, significant gaps remain between American and Iranian narratives. Washington presents the agreement as a decisive step towards regional stabilization and nuclear containment, while Tehran frames it as a conditional arrangement requiring prior lifting of the economic and military pressure before full negotiations proceed. And with no official full text available and key disagreements still unresolved, the agreement currently appears to function as an interim framework rather than a finalized peace treaty. The period leading up to the scheduled signing in Geneva is expected to determine whether all these competing interpretations can be reconciled into a durable and enforceable accord. That's all for now. Stay tuned to the Savera for more updates. Do like, comment, and subscribe to the channel.